Welcome everyone to our Triangle Race for the Cure kickoff. Thanks for being here tonight. As you probably know by now, it's our 25th anniversary event, which we are super excited about, so much so that we have literally branded everything with the number 25 that you could possibly imagine. The registration fee, all of our pre-events, activities are on the 25th of the month. So we're excited to just celebrate this milestone with you all and hope that you are as excited as we are to celebrate this anniversary virtually, given the times that we're in. As mentioned earlier, feel free to post any questions in the chat and we will answer those at the end. I will turn it over to our race chair and breast cancer survivor, Lori Mclean.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lori Mclean, and I am a breast cancer survivor. And my breast cancer journey started with, actually, this is a funny story, an Amica life insurance application. I had been putting off getting a colonoscopy that was prescribed by my gynecologist and my mammogram at the same time. And Amica said, we won't insure you until you get those done. You know, who wants to have a colonoscopy? Nobody. So in December 2016, I had my colonoscopy and then I had my mammogram, which I had been putting off. I got a call back from the mammographer, which happens every year because I have dense breasts. I wasn't worried. I had an ultrasound and the doctor told me they found 2 lumps and at the office couldn't really do much more, but my gynecologist would call me and I never thought breast cancer. I got nervous when I was referred to a breast oncologist. She biopsied the 2 lumps and I got the dreaded call, you have breast cancer. The next few months were a whirlwind of MRIs where they found a 3rd lump, more biopsies, telling family and friends, genetic testing, doctors. At that point, you're not even thinking straight. In February 2017, I had my mastectomy and they found cancer in one of my lymph nodes. If there's a bright spot, it was that my ONCA score was an 11, so I didn't need any chemo, but I did have to go through 5 weeks of radiation. But after my mastectomy, I needed something to look forward to. I needed something to keep me moving and going and not sit down and feel sorry for myself. So in 2017, I signed up for the Komen Race for the Cure in Wilmington, North Carolina. I have a beach house in Topsail Beach. I love being down there. They were having a race. I said, I'm going to join. My family and friends walked the race with me. I knew nothing about the race at the time. We got there a little late, and I was honestly surprised by all the people. And that is actually where my Komen journey started. In 2018, I enjoyed the race. I wanted to do it again. But thanks to Hurricane Florence, I couldn't. They canceled the race. So the Komen staff had a meet and greet for survivors in Wilmington to thank us for raising money for the race, because I raised money anyway. And there I met some wonderful ladies, fellow survivors, and the supporters and staff. It was absolutely incredible. And they said to me, do you want to volunteer? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? Well, I got roped into doing the 2019 RTP Race for the Cure. I was on the entertainment committee. Marge had me going all over the place. I was emailing people, and it was the first time I attended an RTP race. And I can tell you, I stood in that survivor parade. It was my first survivor parade. And I stood in that survivor parade feeling overwhelmed with joy and love. And then the support was absolutely amazing. Because for breast cancer, you do sometimes feel very lonely. And then in 2020, I became the head chair for the entertainment committee. We were doing really well. We were getting a lot of entertainers. We were having a great time. And then COVID hit and we ended up doing the virtual race. I still think the race went really well and we had a great time. And then also in 2020, Komen asked me to be an advocate. So I went to, it's called Komen on the Hill, and I met with David Price to talk about some bills that needed to be passed for the women and men who have breast cancer. So it was very interesting, and I learned a lot. So now in 2021, they've asked me to be the head chair for the Race for the Cure, and I said, of course I'll do it. I'm very excited. My 3 main reasons for in my involvement in Komen, as well as heading the race, is The breast cancer journey can be so lonely. Your family and friends try to understand, but until you've been in those shoes, you don't understand. And Komen has some great, amazing survivors that volunteer, but they also have emotional help with a helpline to call if you need to talk to somebody. The second reason is my company, I have very good health insurance. Breast cancer is very expensive. However, not everyone has that insurance. And there are men and women who have to say, do I put food on the table or do I get my treatment this month? And Komen can help with that with some financial aid and assistance. And I think that is amazing. And my last reason for volunteering is research, research, research. I don't want anybody to have to hear the words, you have breast cancer. So if we can research and figure it out, that would be great. So that is my story and why I volunteer.
Thank you, Lori, for sharing your survivorship story and why you volunteer. And I realized I did not introduce myself, so you're probably like, who is this? I'm Marissa Media. I'm on the Komen staff, and I'm the race director and your MC for the evening. So we will be hearing from Lori again in a few minutes. But as she mentioned, as research being one of her main reasons as to why she participates, we also have our first ever medical chair with us this evening, Dr. Sarahammons from Duke Cancer Institute. So she will be sharing what Komen means to her and Duke Cancer Institute and why she has agreed to volunteer with us. So take it away, Dr. Sammons.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Lori. That was wonderful. My name is Dr. Sarahammons, and I am a breast oncologist and researcher at Duke Cancer Institute. And I'm so excited to lead the efforts as medical chair in the Komen Triangle Race for the Cure this year. My journey to becoming a breast oncologist is pretty unique. I knew that I was going to be a breast oncologist from a really young age. My mom had breast cancer when I was 7 years old and she was 39. And I'm so thankful and fortunate that she's now a 30-year survivor. But I watched her go through that journey, and then I watched her become an advocate in the community, which had a really profound effect on me, I think, in a positive way. And then also in high school, I watched two close friends of mine, their mothers die of metastatic breast cancer. And I thought, this can't be, I don't know if you believe in serendipity or divine intervention or what have you, but I just felt like I had a calling. And sure enough, I actually did it. And I've been researching breast cancer for over 15 years now, and I'm now in my 6th year as a breast oncologist at Duke. I accepted the position to be chair this year because I do believe in Komen's fundraising goals. Specifically, what's really concerning in 2020, 2021 now is that new breast cancer diagnoses are actually down by 50% in an article that was published recently in JAMA. And that's mostly because mammograms, people just aren't feeling as comfortable going out of the house. So anybody that you can talk to about going and getting your mammogram, please shout it from the rooftops. We're all open, we're all doing them, and it's just critical that people continue. But now more than ever, it's so important that we improve barriers to patient access. So one of Komen's goals is to improve patient access to screening mammograms, to navigation services, biopsies, all of those things that maybe some folks in the Triangle don't find as a barrier, but some folks in rural settings actually have a lot of difficulty finding a place to do their mammogram, or finding a place that will take their insurance, or finding that hospital that will do their biopsy, and then finding a medical oncologist. So I think that their navigation services are critical. Also, when I have a newly diagnosed patient, the first thing everyone wants to do is go on the internet and look for information about breast cancer, which I strongly endorse everyone do their own research, but I just want to make sure that they're not going to pursue information that's not going to be helpful to them. So one of the main websites that I send people to, I certainly send people to American Cancer Society, and I also send people to Susan G. Komen. I think they have a lot of great resources for patients. And then another goal, unfortunately, your breast cancer outcomes these days are different depending on your race, and that's unacceptable. And that's a challenge that Komen has taken head on. And a lot of their grants are focusing on reducing disparities in breast cancer and women with color, which is extremely important. And then another aim of Komen that's very near and dear to my heart is finding better therapies for patients with high-risk breast cancer and metastatic breast cancer, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. I personally do a lot of clinical trials in that space. Komen has funded many researchers at Duke in hopes of finding new and better therapies with the ultimate goal of cure. And really, research is the only way that we'll ever make headway. And Duke Cancer Institute, who I'm also representing, loves to work with Komen both locally and nationally, due to the Komen support of our research and also the wealth of knowledge and information that they provide to our patients. So I'm so happy to be here, Marissa. Thank you for asking me to take on this role. I'm very excited to help the group fundraise. At the day of the race, I'm going to be 39 and a half weeks pregnant, but me and baby boy we're gonna get out there, and we're gonna virtually walk as long as we can do it. And I'm just happy to be here. So thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you so much. We are cheering you on in your pandemic pregnancy journey as well, and appreciate your continued support of this event and our research events. It's awesome. Thank you. All right, so one of the things that Dr. Sarahammons mentioned was about our funding, and not only the prevalence of breast cancer in different populations, but also the research. So I wanted to do a quick note on where the money goes that is raised at the race. So Peggy, I know you're on the call. This is a picture of you from the 2019 race. Top fundraiser, way to go. Just wanted to reiterate that breast cancer is one of the most common cancers that women are diagnosed with. Every 12 minutes, one woman in the US will unfortunately lose her life to breast cancer. And for African American women, that's 40% higher incidence rates than Caucasian women. And as Dr. Sarahammons mentioned, that is just unfathomable and unacceptable. And Komen's research is working to eliminate those disparities and also understand why African American women are diagnosed with more aggressive breast cancers and at a later stage. So our research is looking into that, as well as for the disparities for Hispanic women. So these are what we're faced with. And at Komen, we're tackling these issues with we call them our 4 pillars. So research, care, community, and action. As Dr. Sarahammons mentioned, we are funding lots of different research grants, but also a target at metastatic breast cancer research grants. Millions of dollars in funding has come back to Duke, UNC, NC Central, and Wake Forest here in the Triangle, which those dollars come from our race. So we're really proud of that. And there's also researchers across the country that receive Komen research grants. So we're proud of that, as well as the care that's offered through the patient navigation services that are happening in other parts of North Carolina. We have a treatment assistance program where women and men that are facing financial hardship can apply for a one-time stipend from Susan G. Komen to help cover anything from co-pays to transportation to treatment, maybe to help cover their mortgage. So we're happy to be able to provide some of that relief. We also have a helpline, so anyone can call the helpline if you have questions. If you have a friend or loved one with questions, you can call the helpline. There's also a clinical trials matching service related to the helpline. So your dollars at the race and anytime you donate to Susan G. Komen help support that. We also are committed to action. As Lori mentioned, she attended our advocacy summit to try and drive public policy that will help impact breast cancer patients. We also here locally have an Action to Impact grant that is studying those disparities in rural North Carolina through a grant from the SECU Foundation. So we're proud of what Komen's doing on the national level, but also here locally. One of the things I wanted to mention about community is that we actually have a support group for metastatic breast cancer patients here locally. We were meeting monthly in Briar Creek, but due to the pandemic, it's actually virtual now. So if you or anyone you know is interested in attending a monthly support group on Thursday evenings, please let us know. We can send you the link. So all that to say, we want to continue funding these vital programs. And so at the race this year, we have a $550,000 fundraising goal. And I am going to turn it over to Lori so that she can share all the ways that you can support us over the next few months.
Okay, everyone. I need to put my glasses on a minute, so bear with me. Thank you. So in January, we we're having our participant kickoff tonight, which is very excited. I'm excited to see where all of this goes. In February, we're having a scavenger hunt, and there's going to be 25 items that you can get points for, and then there will be you can win prizes. And so from the February 1st to the 25th, the scavenger hunt will take place, and then on the 25th, the winners and whatnot will be chosen. And then in March, there's going to be a big pink raffle, and there's going to be 25 items that are going to be available. And they're going to the items will be worth greater than $100 each. And then we'll have the big raffle choosing on the 25th. And then in April, this is the one that won't be on the 25th, but from April 1st to 11th, there's going to be a pink pet photo contest. And the winner is going to be announced on the National Pet Day on April 11th. And that's why it's on the 11th this year. So that's and then of course, the race on May 1st. So the race schedule, we're looking at doing maybe some throwback slideshows. We're going to have news coverage. It's going to be a virtual program. So it's very exciting as to what is going on. There will be monthly team captain newsletters going out. There's going to be a virtual Survivor Thriver meetup. They're maybe talking about doing fundraising contests. Stories of hope. So there's going to be a lot going on. So make sure you definitely keep an eye on your email.
Thank you, Lori. Shout out to Erin on the call representing our Survivor Thriver sponsor, UNC Health. Thanks for being here. We're excited to partner too. And one of the activities that Lori mentioned is that we will be having monthly Survivor Thriver meetups sponsored by UNC. So be on the lookout. Our first one will be in February. Some of you attended our meetup last fall when we went virtual, when the world was like, what do we do? And we got great feedback on it. So we're excited to bring that back, and there will be a health professional each month from UNC. So thank you, Erin, and look for that info coming soon. Next up, we have our team sponsor, Wake Radiology, and April White is here. They have been sponsoring this event for quite a long time, and we are so thrilled to have their continued support. So April is going to share why Wake Radiology continues to support us and what you can expect this year. April?
Hi there. Thank you for having me this evening. My name is April White. I'm Director of Physician Outreach for Wake Radiology UNC Rex. Our company has been in the Triangle for nearly 70 years. And one of the biggest things that we do as far as screening mammography is that we want to break down those barriers to care by making sure that screening mammography is available in every corner of every county. And so that's kind of what we've been working toward. We have 14 locations from Johnston County all the way to Orange County, and our hope is beyond that. And we know that, from research and just from what we see, that the easier and the quicker a mammogram is, the better the outcome, the more women that will go and get their mammogram. Women are very busy people. They don't have a lot of time. So they want the mammogram, like everything else, to be kind of quick and easy. And so that's what we strive for. We strive to get women in and out of our offices in 30 minutes or less. It is less. And we always hate those callbacks and bringing women back for diagnostic workups, but that's where our expertise comes into play because we offer comprehensive services, everything from 3D screening mammography all the way to biopsy. And we try to make the process as seamless as possible. So we support Komen because we are advocates for that community focus and that community care. One of the things that just the big thing at Wake Radiology right now and throughout the rest of the year is AI, or artificial intelligence. And actually, we issued a press release today. We are the very first outpatient imaging center in the Triangle to implement a product or a platform called Profound AI. And many of you have heard of CAD, which stands for Computer Aided Detection. And so if you read your mammogram reports, you're likely to see the word CAD in the reports, and that's been around for many years. This is taking that computer aided detection to the next level, and we call it iCAD. And Wake Radiology has invested in this innovation and this technology, and it's really just an extra layer of protection on top of the radiologist interpretation with screening 3D mammography. So one of our radiologists likes to call it kind of like a spell check. 3D mammography, we have lots and lots of images to look at, and this Profound AI is really just a game changer. Just like 3D mammography was a game changer a few years ago. So we're really excited about this product. Our radiologists have been using it for a while, but we're just now feeling confident enough to tell the public that that we have it, that we're using it, and it's just an added layer, an added benefit for every patient that walks through our door that's getting a screening 3D mammogram. If you want to know more about that, we do have some information on our website and our Facebook page, but that is going to be the strong focus for Wake Radiology this year, getting women back in the door to have their screening mammogram, because screening mammogram numbers are down. Our screening mammogram numbers grow every year, and they did not grow in 2020. And so we know women are not getting their mammogram, and it's so quick and it's so easy, and we just have to keep encouraging each other to take care of ourselves. But I really appreciate the time this evening. I'm going to hand this over to Erica, and let me know if you have any questions.
Thanks, April. So we want to say a big thank you to April, but also to Wake Radiology, who is serving as our team sponsor for 2021. So moving on, we want to talk a little bit about teams. We are so excited to already have a number of teams registered. I'm going to ask you to do something a little interactive and throw your team name in the chat box if your team is registered, or if you're going to register after this tonight. Let's see who's around here. But you'll see here on the screen all of our teams that are already registered this year. And you guys have already started packing a punch when it comes to fundraising. And there's one special group of teams that I want to share a little bit more information about this year, and that is our corporate teams. This year, we are hosting the first ever corporate challenge for the Race for the Cure. So for those of you that are participating in a corporate team or that are interested in starting one, our corporate challenge is going to be a fundraising competition among corporations throughout the Triangle. And we are aiming for each of those teams to raise $2,500 in honor of our 25th anniversary. And that's going to offer some very cool things. One, the biggest and most important one, is the impact that you're going to make on our mission. We can't thank you enough for doing that. We also are going to give you an opportunity to network with others throughout this challenge. So all of our corporate challengers and their teammates will be invited to monthly networking events where they can virtually hop on, meet other supporters of Komen, and get that networking in that so many of us have been missing throughout this pandemic. And it's a great way to engage your employees, to give them an opportunity to get involved with a cause that's even greater. So we'd love to see you guys on board. And if you are seeing that $2,500 number and wondering, how could my company ever do this? It can be through fundraising. It can be through sponsorship. We have some great sponsors already on board this season. Our local presenting sponsor, Duke Cancer Institute, our Thriver and Survivor sponsor, UNC, and also our team sponsor who you just heard from at Wake Radiology. So that's another opportunity to meet your corporate challenge goal. So with that said, I want to thank all of our teams. I see here in the chat, we've got some great team names that people have thrown out there. We're so excited to have you guys registered this year. And for those of you that haven't registered, we look forward to seeing you do that. But I'm going to pass things over to my colleague, Amy, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about how you can stay in the know throughout the rest of this season. So Amy, take it away.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to Lori, Dr. Salmons, and April White from Wake Radiology. We really do appreciate your support for our event this year and everyone who's on the call. So this year, we're going to try to really engage all of you in some of our communications. So one of the things we'd love for you to do is join our Facebook group. If you haven't done so already, I'm going to plop it up right now in the chat so you can do so. This Facebook group will be the place where you can post yourself, you can share information, you can ask questions, anything race related, so that it can be real interactive, which we haven't done before. So if you haven't already joined that Facebook group, we'd love to have you. And we'll be posting, but you are also welcome to post anything at any time, obviously, you know, and with all the guidelines, which I'm not too concerned about, but it could be your story, your personal breast cancer story. It could be your team name. You could throw out a question and ask, hey, has anybody had any good fundraising ideas? And so we really hope that it will be interactive and that you'll participate. We'll also be, as somebody said, Lori, perhaps, sending out emails with some stories, and I've reached out to some team captains and have gotten some wonderful stories. But if you're a team captain and want to share your story, you can send it to me or email me, and we can talk about the best way to share it, either in a newsletter or on our blog. But the team stories are really encouraging to other people, because everybody, I think we all have the same reason that we're doing this, but some people, you know, may have some different ideas that we can share. You can learn from other people. A survivor story, if you want to share your story at any time, we'd love to hear from you. I think it's really inspiring, even just hearing Lori's survivor story, and even Dr. Salmons and why she's doing what she's doing is just really inspiring. So if you have any questions about sharing your story, my email is up on the screen right now, but I'd be grateful if you join our group this evening. And if you have any other questions, please just let me know, but please try to stay interactive with us so we can all connect and learn from each other. So that's all I have for now.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Marissa.
So as an incentive for folks, if you haven't already registered and joined the Facebook group, we are actually going to be entering the people that do that between now and mid-February for a $50 gift card to Bailey's Jewelry. So if you haven't already, please register and join the Facebook group, and we will pull the winner right before Valentine's Day so that you can use that gift card. Next up, Lori is going to talk through what you can do next to help get your team started, get fundraising going, and some different steps that she uses to recruit donors and fundraisers. So,
all right. So what's next? What are you going to do next? We have many different options here of what we can do. Some of the things that have worked for me personally is the app. Download the app. That app is fantastic. So what I did actually today is I logged onto the app and I edited my story so I can have my personal story out there. And then right from the app, you can send emails to friends or colleagues. You can send a text. You can post it onto Facebook, all from the app. It's wonderful. The other thing that you should make sure you do is in Facebook, link your fundraising page to your Facebook page. I last year was very concerned about doing it due to the COVID pandemic, and I was afraid people weren't going to, I know some people are strapped for money, and I'd really hate asking for it, but breast cancer never stops, so you can't say, well, sorry, breast cancer, you got to wait for COVID to finish. So I bit the bullet and I linked my Facebook page to my fundraising page, and within a week I raised $500. And I honestly didn't do anything other than link my page. So it's very fantastic to do that and easy to do. And so, you send out emails to your network and to your friends. And I've also found that if you use your personal story or your why you're doing this, it really makes a huge difference. Because you never know until you ask the question, and you can, if you show how personal it is and how committed you are, it makes a huge difference. And it's not on this slide, but the other thing I wanted to also mention is I learned this today, actually, that my company, I work for a company out of Minnesota, and they have 2 programs that I never knew about. And one of them is if you donate some of your time, you can get a check cut to the organization of your choice. And the other one is a Volunteer of the Year award where you can self-nominate yourself, which I did today. And you can earn $1,000 towards your organization if you are chosen. So you never know what your company has. So check it out and see what you have, because you never know. You may, I call it finding money. You may find money. So make sure you send emails, personalize your fundraising page, link to Facebook. And I think that's about it.
thank you, Lori. We love finding new ways for corporations to get involved. So another one I will add is corporate matching. If you make a donation and your company will match it up to a certain amount, we encourage you to do that.
And one thing to think about too is if you set a goal and you say, I'm going to raise $1,000, and you reach that goal, set a new goal. I'm going to raise $1,500. And then if you reach that, you can set another goal. So there's a lot of fun things to keep you motivated.
Love that. So if there are any questions, we've gone through all of our content. So let us know if you guys have any questions about the virtual programs, Komen funding, really anything. Post that in the chat. So Carol asks, should we have a different Facebook page for the Race for the Cure? I think everyone handles this differently. So I'm Facebook friends with Lori. And in my feed today, it came up that Lori had linked her Facebook page to her fundraising center. And what's nice about that is when you are registered for the event, you're logged into your page and that's where you can set your goal and everything. If you scroll down, there's a big blue section that says link to Facebook, and you click that and it'll do all the talking on the back end so that once you log in to Facebook, it's all up there. So I think it's nice to use your current page so that way people that you already know can be invited to join it. But I'm actually going to open this up to any panelists that also want to chime in.
Sure, I'll jump in. Utilizing the Facebook page that you already have can be super helpful because you already have your network on there. So I definitely do recommend linking to the app. I did this last week and I actually raised $300 in the first 24 hours that I had it on there. And the only thing I did was push invite to about 1,500 people. So the great thing too is after you invite people to your fundraiser, every time you put an updated post, it notifies them. So they'll get these nice little nudges throughout the season, reminding them like, hey, I have a goal I've set and you haven't helped me reach it yet. I always say the worst case scenario of asking is that someone will say no. So why not invite all of your Facebook friends to potentially give a gift?
Thank you. Hillary asks, are the shirts going to be sent to everyone's homes this year rather than in-person pickup? The answer is yes. We will be mailing all t-shirts, so you don't have to worry about going anywhere to pick up your shirts, pick up your team shirts. We're going to mail all of them to stay COVID safe. So there we go. So another great question from Hillary is about keeping folks engaged. So a challenge for running distance rather than just a one-day event. So what's nice about the app is it does link to your Apple or Google Health. So you can actually track your steps through the app. And on our race website, there's a fundraising leaders board and a step leaderboard. So you can be challenging members of your team, your coworkers, whoever you want to a step challenge, and that'll track through the Komen app and then show up on our website too. So that's something that you can start even now. I know that our food and water sponsor, Walmart, that's how they plan to engage their employees this year, since they won't be at the event handing out bananas and waters and granola bars, is they're going to challenge each other to steps, whether it's during their breaks or even during the workday, and the app will track that. So that's one idea for you.
Another great way to keep people engaged is to, if you're liking that fitness aspect of the race, is using it as part of your fundraising. So put it out there that for every donation you get, you will complete a 5K. So you might end up with 100 5Ks to do over the course of the year. You don't have to complete them all in one day, but that can be a good way to motivate people to keep giving and for you to keep moving.
Another question about the steps is whether it's related to the date of the race. It should not be. It should be working at all times, but we will look into that and follow back up with this group as to whether or not the steps are currently tracking, I guess. Thank you all for being here. I hope this was inspiring for the next few months and hearing from our leadership. And we are excited to see us reach and exceed our fundraising goal and have all of you by our side. So thank you so much.
And this is Lori. I want to thank everyone as well for attending today. I know it's a time out of your day and we're all very busy, but thank you very much. I'm very excited. This race is going to be fantastic.